Hi,
Hi, Brian. How are you?
I'm good. And yourself?
I'm fantastic. So you're playing Spike in Once More with Feeling here at Montreal Comic-Con.
That's right.
So the production is today, Saturday, at 5:30, and tomorrow at 4.
Yes, that's right.
Awesome. So do you get to wear vamp face?
Two or three of the actors do wear vamp face because if you watch the episode, there's one scene and it starts with a song called "Going Through the Motions," where Buffy's talking about how she's getting bored with fighting vampires. In the episode, there's a bunch of vampires that she fights, and we do a similar scene on stage. Obviously, we don't have the same kind of budget that Joss Whedon does, but we do really well with what we have.
That's amazing. So how did you come across the role of Spike?
Well, I grew up watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer because I'm a child of the '90s. So I watched I pretty much watched the entire series, excuse me. And Spike is one of those characters that it has a real theme of redemption around him because he originally comes to in the show. He originally comes to Sunnydale to kill Buffy because he's killed two Slayers and he wants another one just to make a trifactor. But then events happen and he instead becomes interested, more like, this girl is interesting. Maybe I should keep her alive for a little bit longer. Then, as the series develops, little and later on in the series, he starts developing feelings for her. At this point in the show, in this episode specifically, it's at the pinnacle of where he actually is in love with Buffy, but Buffy doesn't return
I feel
his
like
love.
Spike highlights the pinnacle of that fine line between love and obsession.
Yeah, he really
It
does.
starts out as like an obsessive killing thing, and then it turns into a love obsession.
Spike is described as a vampire that has like really strong feelings. Like he can develop obsessions, but when he loves completely, like from heart and soul and body. Even though he doesn't have a soul when we first meet him, in season 7 he gains his soul back.
That's awesome.
So he does all these things to win Buffy's affection, and unfortunately, not even just at this episode, but even as the series progresses, he doesn't really get it back until the very his final scene where he sacrifices himself to save the world.
So how much time did you guys have to prepare this?
We've been rehearsing since late February, early March, and it's been an interesting process because when I first got cast, we didn't know who we were playing. You know, we were just cast. The director said, "Okay, you're going to be in the show. We just need to. We're just not sure where to place you yet. So we're going to do a couple of exercises and see what to do." So he had us perform different scenes. He had us read for different characters. He had us perform certain songs, and then the cast list came out. And I think the cast is really casting the best roles that highlights their talents for sure.
That's amazing. So who arranged the music? Because I know that you have a cello, a violin, a synthesizer, and drums, and I think that's it in your pit orchestra.
Yes, that's right. So that would be our amazing musical director, Samantha May San Fong. She took the original score and just reworked it to make it sound a little bit better. And because we don't have like the 500 instruments at our disposal, so she reworked it so that certain numbers could work with just the keyboard, with just the guitar, with just the cello and the violin and the drums. So she worked it all, so it just requires those 5 people. And every time I hear the band play, I'm blown away by how amazing the music sounds.
So what's your favorite part about playing America's Blondie Bear?
Uh, there's a little bit of there's a little bit of pressure behind it. I won't lie, because I mean James Marsters, like he's iconic. It's unfortunate that he couldn't come to Comic Con this year. He was. It was unfortunate that he had to back out at the last minute. But when you play a role that's so recognizable, people have certain expectations. Like I don't, I'm not, I as an actor, I try not to copy everything that he does. I want to give my own interpretation of Spike. But there are certain things that I have to like respect. Like I have to respect the way he looks. So I am. This is going to be blonde, bleach blonde for the show. I'm not going to tell you how I'm doing it, but it's going to be bleach blonde for the show. And there's also like certain mannerisms that he portrays in his scenes and his in his character. I have to respect a little bit of those. But then I also, where I find my own interpretation is how I deliver the lines, how I react to whoever I'm speaking to, whether it be Buffy or whether it be Giles or whoever. I try to take my own interpretation of how I would think Spike would react in these scenes, or his famous song, "Rest in Peace."
You're scared, ashamed of what you feel, and you can't tell the ones you love, you know they couldn't deal it's great, but I don't wanna play. 'Cause being with you touches me more than I can say. And since I'm only dead to you, I'm saying stay away. And let me rest in peace. Let me rest in peace. Let me get some sleep. Let me take my love and bury it in a hole 6 foot deep. I can lay my body down, but I can't find my sweet release. So let me rest in peace.
No actor really wants to do a carbon copy of anything. Think the best that an actor can do is take a role that maybe people know and kind of give their own twist on it. Not, but without compromising the character itself. Because obviously, I don't want to change Spike completely. It's just taking that role, giving the audience like reminiscences of remember this happened, but then also seeing it from a different perspective.
That's awesome. So if people want to find more of your work and see more of you outside of this production, where can they find you?
I had a few bit roles in the television shows The Art of More and 19.2. I also had a small, brief walk-on role in the Darren Aronofsky movie Mother that just was released very recently. And other than that, I do a lot of work in the Montreal theater scene as well. I've done a couple of shows around with other independent companies and professional companies. So if anybody looks around the Quebec Drama Federation or just looks around the Montreal theater scene, they'll be able to find my name in at least one show happening in every season.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for doing an interview with me. Guys, come to this show. It's Buffy.
Yes, thank you. Please come by.
Showtime.